right, beautiful. What's good, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just wanted to jump on a session with everybody. Obviously, make sure that we're jumping onto a call, going over the charts, really answering any and all questions that you guys may have as well. Again, just really make sure that I'm educating, showing you guys exactly what's needed to become profitable within these markets. That's the biggest thing, right? I always want to make sure that you guys are being able to make as much money as possible, even on your own. That's what these calls are for. But again, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a great week so far. We do have a bunch of people on so far, so thank you guys for being on currently. Let me try to get everything set up right here. Try to get my phone out the way, get the mic set up. All right, so we should be good. Obviously, let me get my headphones out the way, put those over there. All right, so I want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance, really break down some markets that you guys would like to take a look at as well. Again, I really want to make sure that you guys are leaving these sessions with more questions answered than leaving with more questions that need answering. So if you do have any questions, if there's something you don't quite understand and need help with, feel free to let me know in the chat. I am taking a look at the chat so that way I can make sure that I answer any and all questions that you guys are asking. If there's any specific markets that you would like for me to take a look at, break down, really go over, also feel free to let me know. I'll definitely make sure that I go over that for you guys as well. Give you my full idea and detailed breakdown of any specific market so that way you could understand how you should engage a market the moment you jump onto it. I think the biggest hurdle, the biggest obstacle, I would say, that people really are having is understanding how to actually approach a market. What should be the steps needed to find a profitable trade? Now, if that is something that you currently do suffer with and you currently are having struggles with, feel free to let me know so that way I can speak on that in general. If not, I'll just kind of go over some charts and really identify if there is any trading opportunities, see if there is any high probable spots for us to look for some potential entries, break those down and really show you guys exactly why I'm looking at that in that manner. But those will be for a few markets today. If I'm correct, today's Wednesday. Today's already Wednesday. Today is already Wednesday. For some reason, I thought today was Tuesday. I lose track of days all the time. I'll be paying attention to students, our auto trader, our signals, and answering questions for them. So I do lose track of some time and days. But yeah, don't have anything so far. So it does seem like you guys are pretty much just waiting to see if there is any potential trades or just see what I'll speak about and educate about for today. So I will say this, the more interactive, the more questions you guys ask, the more that I see in the chat, the more value that you guys receive, the more time that I spend on these charts, because obviously I want to make sure that I'm speaking to an audience and not just speaking to myself, but I really want to make sure that you guys are also using this time wisely. There's not anybody I know that as of right now that you have a resource where you can reach out, jump onto a live call, be able to ask questions and really gain a lot of knowledge that you could take with you for the rest of your life. So make sure you're using your time wisely and ask the questions that you need and then progress. That's the biggest thing. So the first market that I want to take a look at is actually on gold. We'll actually take a look at gold really quick because there might be some re-entries on this. Now, if you can see, there is a trade that we did place on this. If you are not a part of our Discord, feel free to be a part of our Discord because I was actually able to express this trade for you guys. That was from yesterday as well. So in our Discord here, you can see that I did in fact tell you guys to sell gold. I said risky, please use proper risk or low lot size of anything, only because gold was such in a strong bullish market that going against it was kind of risky in the sense because you never want to go against the market or a trend, especially if it's such in a strong movement the way that it currently was or previously was. But I started to see this develop in a way that showed us that there was a reversal coming into play. So all we had to do was just be a little bit more patient and allow that to develop for us. And you can see here that our entries were in fact perfect for us. So we did actually get an entry from up here, and our current standpoint for anybody who's still holding is about 420 pips. So we were able and still are in this trade. You can see our targets are just roughly around this level of previous structure down here. But the reason why I'm speaking on this is because there is a potential re-entry for this market. Now, kind of already went, but we can identify a potential re-entry here in a second. So you can see how this market has already left our previous entry point, right? So we do have one entry on that, but there could be another entry. I think the misconception a lot of people have is when you use a higher time frame, I know I'm on the 1 hour time frame right now, but the analysis, the entry was based off of weekly and daily analysis and then scaling down to a smaller time frame to identify the entry. Now that we know the direction of this current market, we can clearly see that it wants to continue to be bearish. We do have a strong impulsive move to the downside with little to no correction. This being the only correction so far that it's having. Right now, we can see that the market is wanting to push down much lower. Where can we identify our next entries to do so? So right now, we can clearly see, at least on this time frame, that it wants to push down and it is gravitating towards the next level of support, which is obviously highlighted down there. Right now, the current standpoint is we're ranging at least here on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 15, the 5, no matter what time frame you look at it, the current standpoint is a ranging or consolidated market. What that usually entails is one of two things. What we can get is within this ranging market, you can see here, I'm looking at the range highs being here. So range highs, and I'm on a small time frame being the 1 hour. The reason being is because this is going to be something that we can get detailed with, understanding already the direction. 50% of our work is already done. Can you do silver after? I don't necessarily trade silver, but the reason being is everything we do here could be done on silver. I mean, it's literally the same. I'm not the same, but it works in tandem. If you look at silver and you look at gold, they're pretty much twins. So same analysis I do here on gold, you have the same thing done on silver. Nothing different. If gold's pushing up, so is silver. One's not going to go up and the other one's going to go down. So the analysis that you have here will be done is the same that you will have on silver. So you can see here, again, within that ranging market, this will be considered our range high. So that being our range high, obviously, common sense, you would say that this is your range low. So what that means is the market right now is developing and building up the needed momentum and volume in order for it to make its next decision. The next decision could be either the market correcting, being that it breaks above the range highs and starts giving us an initial correction, which if it does, you can already kind of see I have an area of interest where there could be a selling opportunity. So that will be your sell kill zone. And I know I'm going through this pretty quickly. There was no questions, there was nothing. So just kind of going over how I would mark up a chart when I jump onto a chart. Let's say if there was nobody watching, there was no session, how I would approach a market to identify entries. So that could be an idea. If the market does break above, there could be a retest of previous structure that was broken out of for next continued sells. Now, if you're wondering, Jay, would you buy up into that level? Possibly. This is exactly why I have the chart marked up in this manner, because if we did break above and we do get a retest from here, I'd then look for that buy leading into our sell zone. So just marking this up in a manner that I'm personally looking at it. Again, I don't see any questions or any discrepancies. So I'm just speaking on things that could potentially happen for us today. Now, let's say that doesn't happen. It doesn't break above. We don't get that initial respect. What I would first look for is, and if you guys are wondering why I have the chart all the way over here, is because I know I have my face on this side or whatever side it's on. So I want to make sure that you guys can see everything clearly. So what I would want, if anything, the next thing another possibility is if it doesn't break above these highs, what could end up happening, actually a few things. Let's say it reaches back to this level of resistance, then you could look for an entry from here because we're already in a seller's market. The market is very much bearish. You can sell from there, but you would use a tight stop loss only because if it does break above that initial range high, oops, sorry, wrong tool. If it does break above that initial range high, it's probably going to continue. So if you have a 100 pip stop loss, your 100 pip stop loss is probably going to be hit, so you want to mitigate your risk. So those are the possibilities I see with gold. If anything, I would not say go ahead and sell gold right now because we already have that rejection, so it could possibly give us something even like this, reach this low, then possibly come back up. But the whole idea is being able to enter sells off of this range high if possible. So that's just to go over gold really quick to get it started off with. Just to kind of give you guys an idea. Again, the same analysis that's done here will be pretty much the same on silver. So everything you take it that you got from here, just take it over to silver. Pretty much the same exact thing. FOMC coming up soon. Yeah, I know. We have FOMC starting at 2 o'clock. That's why I have Forex Factory right here. That's why I'm not trading anything with the US dollar as of yet. A lot of what I'm looking at are more along the lines of yen pairs. So with the FOMC release a little bit later, I'm not too heavy on US cross pairs. I'm hoping that they do give us some type of moves because obviously US cross pairs, the New York session, or just I like to trade gold, I like to trade USD/JPY, GBPJPY, they all have US cross pairs within them. So I do need some volatility and some action, if you will, from those markets. So I'm hoping that, well, not hoping, I know FOMC will give us something as it always does because that's a very high volatile news release. But yeah, that's why I'm personally not looking at anything too heavy as far as entries are concerned. But with the technical analysis that we can currently see right now, could present us an idea that even with the technical standpoint, we could probably see not see the future. I mean, we ain't Miss Cleo, but we could probably see what the news is going to be beforehand. Now, that's not 100%, right? I know a lot of people always ask, yo, what's the news going to do? The dollar weak or strong? I don't fucking know. Nobody knows. But when we use technical analysis, when we get the idea of what the market is doing now, it can give us an idea of when that news is released, what that possible move can be. So I'm hoping that before news does come out, we can reach back up to this level of resistance, because the most common sense or the very basic knowledge of trading is you want to sell from highs, you want to buy from lows. So if we can get these highs met once again, at least here back on gold before news, and news comes out, that could be the catalyst needed or the high needed to be respected. And then when news comes out, we get a strong impulsive move to the downside. So that's kind of like what I'm hoping for with gold and the majority of all US cross pairs. But we'll see. We do have a little bit, we have enough time for news to come out. So we do have to be a little bit more patient and allow that to come out. So what's good, Nova? Good morning. Good morning. What's good, everybody? I see a bunch of people on. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see a lot more people on right now. Good morning. So again, I just broke down gold in just a technical standpoint. If anybody did not catch that, we were able to, or I did place a signal in our Discord. This is a signal for everybody, not just legacy students. So if you're not a part of our free Discord, feel free to go to the description below, grab the link, be updated with any and all sessions that I have, and obviously any trades that I put out, because everyone was able to get that as a trade. I'll actually just show you this. That was for you guys. And then as you see here, I'll go real quick. You guys can see that I'm always putting out trades for students. So any trade that I give to them, you guys are getting that same amount of value. So it's not going to be a different type of trade. You guys are going to get the same amount of value and profits as well. So that gold trade sent out to students and also sent out to you guys. So make sure that this is my gratitude. This is how I show my appreciation for everybody who joins onto these calls. I know you guys could be watching anybody, but you guys are here with me learning. So I do appreciate that. So with that gratitude, I make sure that you guys are not just learning on these, but also profiting with us as well. So if you're not a part of the Discord, feel free to jump on. And then you'll be updated with any and everything as well. So before I continue, any questions, any other markets you guys would like for me to take a look at, break down, really analyze, go over? If there's something, again, that you quite don't understand, you need help with as far as your trading is concerned, that you could take with your own, apply it to your own trading and make your own money. That's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest reason, or the only reason why I do these sessions, to really hone in your skills and really create some profitable traders. So use the time wisely, guys. If you have any questions like, how do you do this, or what's that, and what, by all means, feel free to let me know. This is the time. If not, I'll go ahead and take a look at some other charts. Again, I'm only doing these calls to make sure that I'm answering questions and staying relevant. If there's no questions, there's no relevance, there's no session. That's just me being real. Only because, again, I want to make sure that I'm reaching and impacting an audience in a positive manner. So if you guys are good, let me know. Let me see real quick. NAS 100, please. I still have no idea why people are so interested in this market. I know it pays out heavily, but be very careful. There's no analysis needed for NAS 100. You're in a bullish market, you're buying. Simple as that. I know that we are at this level of resistance, right? But wrong tool. I know that we're at this level of resistance, but that's kind of already broken out of and kind of already being retested. So being here on the daily time frame, we still have a lot of time for this market or for this candle here to close, but we're already showing bullish movement. You're looking for buys on NAS 100. That's simple, right? I know you're probably like, really? That's it? Yeah, I mean, I want everybody to understand this. This is not to sound disrespectful. This is not going to, I hope this doesn't sound disrespectful. I hope this does not offend anybody, but I'm going to say this in the most realist way I possibly can, so that way everybody could stop being fucking scared, right? The market is really easy to trade if you use one thing and one thing only. It's an indicator. We're going to actually, I shouldn't even be telling you guys this, to be completely honest. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys. This is personally my favorite indicator. Is it favorable to hold USD CAD throughout 8:30 news? Yes. Why not? I mean, there's news at 2 o'clock, or you talk about the 8:30 CAD news. Yeah, that's still fine. Yeah, I mean, if you feel confident with the trades that you place, point blank simple. But this is my favorite indicator, right? I should not even be telling you guys this. So anytime you're trading, I want everybody to understand this, because when we look at a chart, before I even tell you my favorite indicator, the guru indicator, like I'm going to put that out right now. So if you guys want, you can write it down. It's probably going to be something that you guys never heard of. It's not an indicator or trade system that a lot of people use, but in my honest opinion, this is the only reason why I can call myself successful in trading. But before I even get to the indicator and giving you the name of it, I want you guys to take a look at this, right? So I think it was Joetta. So Joetta, do me one quick favor and look at this chart. I want you guys to just look at it. And the very common factor is what? What is the market currently doing? Now, obviously, we know on a higher time frame we're at a level of resistance, but my biggest thing is that level of resistance is currently being broken. Even if we look at the previous highs over here, those previous highs there are broken as well. So what that's telling me is that buyers are still very much in the market. I want everybody to stop doing two things, or we'll start with this. One, stop looking for reversals and look for continuations. That's one thing that I need everybody. If you're going to leave this session with something, leave with that. Stop looking for reversals when the market is clearly telling you the direction, right? The one thing I always see is people saying, oh, that shit looks overbought. No, it's not, right? Because if the market doesn't show you the reason on why it's overbought, then it's not overbought. It's going to continue. So if you're looking at this and you're like, well, it's at a level of resistance, got it. I can understand that. But at that level of resistance, what's already happening? We already have a closure above with this previous candle. Let me find my little arrows. For some reason, I can't find, I think I accidentally deleted, is it here? When the fuck did they put emojis? Wait, my bad. I'm sorry, I like completely got off track. When did they start putting emojis in TradingView? I actually did not notice that until now. That's really weird. All right, well, we won't use that. I'll figure out how we could use emojis in our trading. But yeah, that's really weird. So you can see here, at least we have a breakout candle, right? We have a breakout above the previous structure over here. Now, it's not necessarily considered a strong breakout because it hasn't necessarily created a higher point being anywhere above the wicks of these previous candles in that structure zone. But if we look at the bodies of these previous candles, we can see that there's a previous break, or a current break. And when we scale down smaller time frames, you can see that the market is just continuing to create higher highs and higher lows. So what does that mean? Get detailed. So that's what I want you to understand, right? Look at the market. You can see that you're at a level of resistance. We've already broken above the level of structure, at least on the higher time frame. So if we look at the smaller time frames, what is the market doing? Common sense, right? That's, in case I just gave it to you guys. So this is my favorite indicator. Common sense. You're not going to be able to find it. Unfortunately, they don't have that in TradingView, but that is my favorite indicator to use when I'm trading. Common sense. So every time somebody asks me to look at a chart and they say NAS 100, I want you to tell me the reasoning on why you want me to take a look at that chart. Because it's very easy for me to say buy or sell, but I want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance on why we're looking at it. But this is what I want you to use, Joetta. That indicator, common sense. If the market is buying, then you're buying. That goes for anybody. That goes for every single aspect in trading. If the market is moving in a direction, you find the entry so that way you could move in the direction with the market, right? If the money's moving up, you go with the money. So where would that be? Because I'm pretty sure that's what you're asking. Look left to get right. Was this level of previous structure broken and previously retested? Common sense. Your trading is not as hard as we want it to be, or as we seem it to be. There's your answer. NAS 100, you missed your entry for the buys. If you look at the chart, if you understand what it's doing, oh shit, it just broke a level of previous structure. Let's replay that. Oh shit, that high was that high was broken. This high here was previously broken. Okay, what does that dictate? That the market is still very much bullish. Okay, well, now 50% of your work is done. Because you're like, well, if that just created another high point, and it's showing me that in this buyer's market, buyers are still buying, what should I do? Probably buy, right? Just very common sense aspect. So if you're going to say, well, where should I buy from? Look where it bought from previously. I know if you're like, where does that makes no sense. Yes, the market did in fact respect this level of structure with that bull or that bearish move. But where did the market buy from? It bought from here. That is the breakout. It had to buy from this level pretty extensively to continue the bullish movement All you're doing is identifying that last level of previous structure that was broken out of to dictate the next move. What happens when it gets there? You use your confluence, or your tools rather. Swing low to swing high with your Fibonacci retracement tool. You can see that there should be some form of confluence. We'll get a little bit more detailed, mark that up as our zone. And what happens? The market starts giving you a bullish move. That is your answer on NAS 100. You missed your entry on your buys from down here, right? If you are just waiting, and this is not to sound disrespectful before I say anything, but I want everybody to understand this. If you are just sitting and waiting to get somebody else's confirmation or answer on something that you already know and you miss an opportunity, make sure that you go back and redo your analysis or stick to your discipline. Actually, my fib's not. There we go. So if you saw this and you didn't place your entry, make sure you place it next time. You know what I mean? Execute, because that's your answer. If the market is moving in a direction, don't be like, oh, it's buying. Where's the sells at? You know what I mean? Because I think that's what a lot of people do is, that's the one question I always get to is like, all right, so where's the market going to reverse from? Why look for a reversal when the market is giving you so many continuations? There's only one reversal, but there's so many continuations leading up to it, right? So right now, I do think that NAS 100 will continue to buy up until when? Well, if we continue to break above this level of structure, look left to get right, because where's the next level of structure? Right up here. Common sense. When you're trading, it's not supposed to be this most difficult, rocket science based, objective. You're literally looking at 3, 4 things, and then continuing in the market direction from there. Your entries are based off of your analysis, not a time frame. Your entries are based off of a price action, not an indicator, right? So if you can understand those small aspects, it makes it a little bit easier. So hopefully that makes sense. NAS 100, very much continued buys, especially if we can get, I'll delete this real quick, especially if we can continue to break above previous highs. That daily high is great. Why is my tools not working? There we go. So we can see right there, if we could continue to break above those highs, I mean, that's even a stronger factor. But what's important is the reason why we're looking at these highs is because if that level of structure, let's say you missed your buys here. Oh, too bad, boo-hoo. That's okay, because the market grants so many other opportunities. Don't cry about it, right? You missed that opportunity, that's cool, because let's say it does this, breaks above, comes back to that level. We get further confluence. Now you have another opportunity. You missed that one, cool. Make up for it here, right? That's all you're doing. You're following the steps and the clues that the market leaves behind at all times, so that way you can become profitable. Now let me go ahead and see if there's anything in the chat. Can someone please post a link to his Discord? It's in the description below. It's literally there. I said it. It's in the description. If you guys want to be a part of the Discord, it's in the description below. And yeah, so yeah, any other questions? Any other markets? Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for the input. Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's very important that we all use common sense. That is my favorite indicator of all time. We got a bunch of people on. Thank you guys. Good morning. Thank you guys for being on. I appreciate you all. So if this is your first time on a session with me, I highly appreciate it. Thank you for being on with me. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If this is a continued session with me, gang, you already know, Shazam. I try to make this as lively as possible. I know trading can be very daunting, very stressful, very annoying at times too. So I want to make sure that I'm making this as entertaining, funny for you guys as well. Kind of like wake you guys up in the morning. I know it's very early, especially for some of you guys, probably just on the phone running around handling kids, the family, or at work heading to work. So whatever you're doing, I appreciate your time for still tuning in. So yeah, let me see what you guys got for me real quick. GBPUSD, GU. So before I do that, what is your question with the GBPUSD? Why do you want to take a look at GU? That's the bigger question. Again, I want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance, right? So if you're looking at a specific chart, I got to redo all that. I got to redo. Oh, that's right. Maybe I don't have to redo all that. So my bad. Real quick, let me hold on. So real quick, I actually do. You guys can see this real time, I guess. You guys probably want to see one of the trades. So I did, in fact, tell students to buy Euro GBP. This is one of the markets that I told them from this morning. As you can see here, this is the previous analysis. You guys won't be able to see that in the Discord on the free side. This is for legacy members. But as you can see here, we did place it buy. So all I'm going to do real quick, unfortunately, I do still have to do work as I'm on these sessions. Let me just go ahead and tell them to move stop losses to break even and hold for further profits. Simple. You know what I mean? And I completely forgot about this, to be honest. But yeah, very good entry on that. But I just want to make sure that I'm answering on detail on why you want to look at GU, Nova. And somebody else said GU as well. It's at a weekly resistance, but I think it will continue to buy. So, all right, so let me go ahead and take a look. So real quick, look at Euro GBP, right? This is a correlating factor with all pound pairs, obviously pound, all right, the Euro GBP. So one thing we have to understand is when we have buys on Euro GBP, you have sells when it comes to other pound pairs. Now, to caveat off of that, if anybody's looking at this and you're saying, oh, Jay got a buy, I'm going to place the buy right now, that's a signal you put don't, because you're going to end up in drawdown, probably lose a trade. So please, if you're looking at this and you want to enter it right now, do not. I repeat, do not. You'll probably end up in drawdown. The market can actually come correct back down to our entry points. That's exactly why I told people to mitigate risk, because if the market says fuck you, wants to continue to push down, we don't lose anything. So if you're looking at this and you wanted to placing an entry right now, please do not. It's very risky. You're not at the entry point. So yeah, be very careful with that. But to continue with that, when we have buys on Euro GBP, we have a weak pound. So you're saying that we're at a weekly, or let me just go back and it says it's at a weekly resistance, but I think it will continue to buy. So as you see here real quick, if I go back to GBPUSD, I do have that structure point marked out. I'm on the daily, same thing on the weekly as well. On the weekly, what I was really looking for is, I mean, you guys can probably already see it, is the head and shoulders pattern that is fucking just screaming in our faces right now. Very simple idea. If you guys can't see it, or if you guys doubt the relevance and importance or strength of a head and shoulders pattern, TradingView has an actual tool to show that. So it should dictate and show you how important this pattern is. So with that head and shoulders pattern, based off of a higher time frame, and at that left shoulder price, as you guys can see right here, I do believe that you're correct on looking for those sells, but I don't think you should be looking for any continued buys. When we scale down to a daily time frame, so we can see it a little bit easier, what we're looking at, and I'll replay this for you all real quick, so that way you guys can see the overall idea on why I'm seeing it this way. If we do this real quick, but why is this? For some reason, my replay is not. It's like all messed up. Did I? All right, never mind. So I won't replay that. My replay button, just like the emojis, is just like really weird right now today. So, I mean, you guys can pretty much see it regardless. What used to be a level of structure over here, what used to be support, right? You guys can clearly see that this was a level of support. I'll kind of zoom in so everybody can see it a little bit better. Let me actually make sure that as I zoom in, my face isn't like right next to everything here. But as you guys can see, that was a level of previous support. So with that level of support, you can initially see the strong break that occurred from there as well. So this being the strong break, which would dictate and show that sellers are very much taking over in this market for the meantime. So if we look over to our current market, this was, I mean, it was kind of retested down here, if we look over here, but it kind of is coming back into that level of previous structure for another retest. Not even kind of, it's very much in that level of structure. So we're looking at this price point just a little bit higher than the previous price over here, and we're getting that idea of respect. When we scale down to smaller time frames, it's still developing. We don't have such a strong idea of a sell as of yet, but it is turning into one. What I mean by that is we went from the higher time frame, we went from the weekly to understand the head and shoulders pattern. We went to the daily to understand that we're at a level of previous structure. And right now we're going to scale down to the 4 hour to understand even further patterns. What that's called is time frame confluence. Time frame confluence being that each time frame that I'm using is telling me the same idea. So if I go into the daily is dictating and telling me that we're at a level, or actually the weekly. When we go to the weekly, we can see that the weekly is giving us a bearish reversal pattern. When we go to the daily, we can see that we're at a level of structure that can give us a bearish reaction. When we go into the 4 hour, because again, each time frame should dictate and tell us the same thing, we can obviously start to see a potential double top. 1, 2. Very simple idea. So with the idea of the market leaving us a double top, this level of previous resistance, or current resistance, not previous, with this level of resistance being made, let me get rid of that. It's starting to look like I'm drawing here. So with that current level of resistance being held, the double top being formed, and if we also take a look at the rejection that we're getting in the current candle, wicks equaling rejection, in case anybody doesn't know that, wicks equal rejection at levels of structure, fibs, trend lines, right? So anytime you're at a level of structure, you're at a fib ratio, or you are at a trend line, you start to see wicks or candlesticks rejecting that point. You can start to understand that maybe it doesn't want to be bullish from here anymore. Maybe it is starting to see some sells. Now, the most important part to dictate and really show that sells are going to happen, it's not going to be from up here, right? I think a lot of us are like, oh, so we sell from there. The strongest idea of sells, or a real reversal, at least on this time frame, would be the break below these lows here, the middle points of your double top, right? So this being market structure, once we get a break below there, that will give us a stronger idea of sells. But I think we can already start to see that that's probably going to happen. So I do agree with GU looking for potential sells. Again, with FOMC, the news that'll be coming out a little bit later, it is going to be a little bit, I wouldn't say hard. Yeah, I would say hard because it is FOMC. We don't know what the news is going to be. But with technical, technical analysis and what we can currently see, it does seem as if we should be getting some bearish rejection from there. So I would at least look for sells from here. So we could do this. Sell kill zone. I'll put risky before news. So that way everybody understands that if you are going to trade this, I can't spell today, risky before news, that if you are going to trade this and it ends up just fucking doing this, like let's say you sell it and it goes, nope, it turns into a strong buy, you understand the reasoning behind it. The news, especially news from today, could kick you out of your trade immediately. So no, there's no entries on this. No, I'm not looking for a trade on this as of yet. But I mean, you are getting that initial reaction. I mean, even look at the 1 hour bearish engulfing or rejective candle from there. So does seem very favorable to the downside for GU. But again, I would allow the market to, or the news to come out, so that way we can see how it affects the market. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that correlates with the analysis that you had as well. Hopefully that makes you some money. But yeah, what's good, everybody? Gang, gang. What other questions you guys have? What are the markets you guys like to identify? What can I assist and help you guys with? Let me take a look at Bitcoin real quick as we wait to see if there is any other questions, any other markets. But actually, what I'll do too is I'll go ahead and post. Actually, I'll do it after. I'll break down the charts in a more detailed manner on each time frame, and then what I'll do is I'll go over here to our Discord and I'll post it in our analysis, right? So that way you guys can see here. I'm always posting analysis, especially with the trade signals for you guys. So I'll make sure that I add these charts for you guys in the Discord, so that way you guys can all take advantage of it as well. So yeah, any other questions, anything else I can help you guys with, feel free to let me know. Again, I want to make sure that I'm assisting in the best possible manner. If not, I'll kind of go over some other charts that I was looking at previously. Not too much with the news coming out today. I'm not really paying attention to too much US cross pairs or pairs in general. I was looking more along the lines of yen. So somebody said gold. I took a look at gold already. I know you were probably not here, but what's good, LA? Same thing, right? We're in a ranging market very much after that sell. Again, I did tell you guys to sell. I did send that signal for you guys for that sell. So if you haven't taken profits already, you guys are up about 400 pips or just roughly around that area. If you have taken profits on that, that's perfectly fine. No matter what, you should have ended up profitable. But what I'm waiting for, especially with the news, is to see how this range is held, right, or dealt with. Since we have already had that strong push to the downside, the news can come out, cause a correction leading back into our sell zone, retesting the previous structure, i.e. our neckline of the head and shoulders pattern that was developed. If it does not reach that point, news comes out and it just sells below these lows here, or the range low, obviously, which I do believe is going to be the case. I think that gold will continue to sell. The US dollar will gain a little bit of strength based off of news. Obviously, that's all speculative. I don't know that for a fact. But I do think that we will get the idea of what gold will do the moment it breaks above or below this range. My honest opinion, I do think that it'll break below that initial range. You took profits already? That's fine. You know what I mean? Profits is profits. You can't be mad at making money for free, right? Yeah, I mean, like, especially if you didn't have to do, if you did your own analysis, perfect. If it was based off the signal, ain't nothing wrong with making some free money if you ain't got to do no work for it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do think that gold will continue to push down much lower. Obviously, there's no volatility on it because of the news or leading into the news. So we really can't see what's going to happen as of yet. But my honest opinion, I do think that gold will continue to push down much lower. But yeah, any questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at? Is there something that you are confused on? Is there something you quite don't understand? Again, I really want to make sure that I'm helping you guys to the best of my abilities, and then really go from there. I did place I'm not going to lie to you guys, I placed a sell for students on GCAD. Our entry was up here. Now, please do not place it because we have news literally coming out in a second. Our stop losses are very much close. So yeah, I wouldn't place that, but so far our trade's really good. But yeah, any other questions? Nope, appreciate it. All right, perfect. Want to make sure that you guys are good. But yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. Again, I really want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance, helping you guys out to the best of my abilities, and then really going from there. So yeah, questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, let me know, and I definitely got you guys. Just skimming through, seeing if there's anything else to really speak on. Again, with the news coming out today, it's going to be very risky in the sense of trying to find a trade with a U.S. crosspair. So I would say be very careful with that. Let me see so far. Nothing in the comments so far. No questions. US30, same thing as NAS 100. If NAS 100 is going to end up being a buy, US30 will end up buying as well. But these markets still, US30, NAS 100, DAX, like no matter what you look at, it's going to be no volatility as of yet until news comes out. So looking at that would be very risky as well. Somebody said EJ bullish. You're not going against that. Same thing. Do not ask on what a market is doing if it's already telling you. It's literally, I forgot about those buy zones yesterday. I even put this out for you guys yesterday. Buy zone on Euro JPY. I didn't put an entry for you guys yesterday, but I actually did end up putting an entry for students. We caught a few pips on that, but I mean, the market's already telling you what it wants to do. Look at it. Use common sense. What is the market doing? Look left to get right. Why is it a buy? It was a ranging market. It broke out of the top of the range. Breakout, retest. Why else? Look at the market. Inverted head and shoulders pattern, break of the neckline, buys. You don't, common sense, right? And this is, again, not to sound disrespectful. This is me being extremely fucking real from my man Terrell. If the market is buying, if it is up the way that you see it right now, you're not going against it. You're buying. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the reasoning on why people always, and this is not, again, this is not to sound disrespectful. This is me being confused and me trying to help you guys understand how easy trading can be. I don't understand the reasoning on why people will be like, so is gold or EJ buying or selling? Look at it. If it's buying, it's buying. So you don't have to ask like EJ or gold or NAS. Let me know the reasoning, right? Let me know why you want to look at it. If you're asking EJ for what? Are you looking for, is there a question on it? Do you have a markup? Let me know. But if you're looking at EJ right now, it's a buy. Simply put, nothing else to be said on that, right? You can see the inverted head and shoulders pattern. You see the break of structure. You see that it's creating higher highs, higher lows. You identify buys until it's no longer a buy. Find the next level of structure where it can cause a sell, which is right there. That's your entire markup. That's it. You know what I mean? I think a lot of individuals, they think that when they, and this is not to sound rude, this is not, I'm speaking in a general statement. This is not, directed towards anybody specifically. But what a lot of individuals think is that, you have to have your chart look like this. All these different, markups, your trend lines there, that you have to have your fibs from, fucking 3 weeks ago still on your chart. Yeah, your chart should not look like that. Trading is not this difficult, or should not be this difficult. You do not need tools like this in order to become profitable. You know what I mean? Because you can make trading as hard as you want. There are ways to make it very, very difficult. You know what I mean? Or you can make it extremely easy. If the market is up, that means it's buying. You're just going to buy with it. Where are you going to buy from? Where it bought from before. Where is that probably going to be? Look left to get right. Right there. Your question is answered. Right? That's it. Obviously, when you go into looking to enter your trade, there's going to be other forms of confluence and technical analysis or tools that you would use. But look at it. You know what I mean? You could answer your question with just taking 10 seconds to look at the chart. And again, that's not to sound disrespectful. This is me literally telling you the secrets, not even a secret. You know what I mean? This is me telling you exactly what you need to understand, right? If you jump onto a chart and then you have to ask somebody, you're not really paying attention. And that's, again, generalized statement. That's not directed towards anybody specifically. And I'm also telling you this because these are the mistakes that I previously made as well. I would just jump onto a chart and I say, oh shit, that's buying. Let's sell. It's overbought. And I'm over here looking to sell that when that shit's obviously a continued buy, right? So that's the last thing you want to do. You always want to make sure that you're taking a few seconds to say, okay, well, that's currently buying. Why is it a buy? Where is it going to buy to? Well, if you do that, those two things, you ask yourselves, well, that looks like a buy. Why is it currently a buy? And is it going to continue to be that? So 3 questions. You say, well, damn, respect to that level of previous structure. Oh shit, it broke above that range. Oh shit, inverted head and shoulders pattern. It's creating higher highs, higher lows. All I need to do now is follow the direction of the current market. Right now it's currently a buy. Where am I going to buy from? Well, it bought from there previously because it broke out. Can it buy from there again? Absolutely. Retest, take your fibs, your tools, swing low, swing high. You got your answer. You just need to take a little bit of time to jump onto the chart. 10 seconds. Jump onto a chart for 10 seconds, and I guarantee you, without marking anything up, you don't have to mark anything up. Just look at it. Be like, okay, well, if we looked at this previously, let's see if my replay works now. Okay. So we looked at this previously. We could say, well, damn, that's a strong ass sell, right? But obviously after that, using common sense, we know that's not always going to last. And you could probably look for, another idea. So it's all based around, I promise you, just common sense. And just taking the time to look. And then if you start to see the market develop, you're like, oh shit. Well, it was a sell, but now it created that level of support there. As it creates that level of support, you can say, well, using common sense, if it bought from there before, I could look for buys from there again. Obviously, my structure not being perfect right now as it develops, right? But you can even adjust it and say those lows. And then you have your idea. So it's just all, I just saw somebody in the chat. It's just all really dependent on, obviously, using common sense and going with the direction of the market. That's the biggest thing. For the big picture, do you use the daily or the 1 hour? Sean, I mean, that's a very common sense answer. If I'm looking for the bigger picture, why would I use the 1 hour? You know what I mean? Waiting for pullback to break of high for more buying. So you're waiting for the pullback to break to the break of the high. So yeah, you're just looking for a break and a retest. No need to overcomplicate it. You know what I mean? Everything within trading sounds very fucking foreign. Sounds like a different language until we just use very simple terminology. It broke up, we wait for the retest. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just that. You know what I'm saying? I wait for the correction to come back to the break of the highs, so that way when the moving averages cross over the mayonnaise and the rainbow, I'm going to go ahead and get the break retest, level of previous structure. That's it. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to use other forms of confluence when we get there, but in my honest opinion, you're going to be looking for buys roughly around that range. But for anybody who's struggling and says, I don't know what the market is doing, yes, you do. Fucking look at it. That's all you need to do. Take 10 seconds, don't mark anything up, jump onto time frames, different time frames, and say, well, it's doing that, okay, got it. Then you do your markup. Because if you're able to say, well, it's buying or selling without having to do a markup, I guarantee you're fucking correct. Because you can't be wrong if you're saying, well, the market is buying after, let me draw this out real quick. If you're on a chart, and like if you're on this, and you're like, well, it looks like it's buying, 50% of your work is now done. Because you know the direction of the market. What's the other 50%? Finding your entry. That's simple. You know what I mean? So common sense always. But yeah, any other questions? Anything else you guys got for me? Feel free to let me know. I hope I don't sound rude or disrespectful. I'm from New York City, baby. So everything we say sounds fucking insanely rude. But this is me being real. right? This is me trying to get into helping the psychology aspect with a lot of you guys, because I think that's a big factor, or, well, not even think, it is a giant factor when it comes to trading, the psychological aspect. I think a lot of us are like, is it buying? Yeah, it is. If you can call a spade a fucking spade, call it a spade, right? If you can see that market is buying, just like you said before, right? Like, you didn't even have to ask me about EJ, because everything you said was exactly what I put out. The psychology aspect needs to be, is a real thing. So Terrell, you don't have to ask me, what's EJ doing? You already know. Take that as confidence into yourself and saying, shit, why did I even have to ask Jay? I fucking know. I don't need his help. You know what I mean? Like, that's me being real. Be cocky a little bit. You know what I mean? Be confident, because confidence within trading increases your lot sizes. And what happens when you increase your lot sizes? You make more profit. So you already knew what was happening. You don't need me to help you. You already know. You have an idea. Be confident. Use your own analysis. Use your own ideas. Because nobody, not even myself, is going to be able to make you more money than yourself, right? Because if I give you a signal, you don't know what that signal is. You can't trust it as much. So you're not going to use a big lot size. But if you go ahead and say, oh shit, just like I said, just where I marked up, I'm waiting for the retest of that previous level. Jay already marked it up, but I knew it before him. Fuck that. Big lot size. I'm confident in my trade. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? It's not something difficult. So for Terrell, you already knew what you were doing. You know what I mean? So that should be, a feather in your cap. You should give yourself a pat on your back and be able to say to yourself, I know how to fucking trade. Now go ahead and make your own money. Execute. You know what I mean? That's my sell or my buy kill zone. If that's your buy kill zone as well, you're on to something good. So yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I just want to see if there's anything else I can help and assist you guys with. Damn, this chair is like, I got to get a new chair. I think I'm just getting too big. I've been at the gym and I'm just filling out everything, yo. I can't even fit in my car anymore. You do somewhat, you have people on the chat who are asking because they don't know. No, I do understand that people don't know, and that's why I'll go over it. But I always make sure that I'm speaking on every spectrum, right? Because what ends up happening is I get messages all the time. People be like, yo, you answer questions without questions even being answered. And that's a great thing. I know that individuals don't know, but I want to make sure that the individuals who do know what they're doing understand that they know what the fuck they're doing. And the reason why I say that is because, again, from experience, I've been doing exactly what I'm doing right now. The same way that I'm marking up charts, the same way that I'm even educating you guys since 3 months, the first 3 months of me learning how to trade. If I had confidence in myself, I could have been profitable within the first 3 months. And that's not to sound cocky or fucking, that's real. Because everything I'm doing now has not switched. The only thing I might have added was, harmonics at one point. I was able to develop a really weird little strategy with these moving averages and find some really good entries with those, i.e. our Euro GBP trade. You know what I mean? Like that. But besides that, like everything has been the same. So if I understood, I knew what I was doing within those 3 months, I would say within the 3rd month mark, I wouldn't have waited another year or so to become profitable, right? Because I've been trading at this point 9 years at this point. My son, 9 years at this point. So within that first year and a half, I would have been able to be profitable if I felt confident. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want everybody to say, well, if you saw exactly if you did exactly what I did as far as my markup from my man Terrell, and you saw exactly what I saw, and you have your entry exactly where mine is, you should be confident in yourself now. And that's because if you didn't know, now you know, right? You have everything pretty much correct. For the individuals who didn't know, now you know as well. All you're doing is identifying the most relevant levels of price and the actions that proceed within them. That is why this is called price action trading. You're identifying the most relevant level of price and the actions that proceed within them. I know I'm repeating myself, but repetition is key. That's how we learn. So if I can understand that, a previous level of structure over here was broken from buys, that's probably going to be respected to buy again. Obviously, I need other forms of confluence, such as my fib ratios. On this time frame, can there be any forms of other trend lines? Right? Absolutely. Right? So I'm not just looking at structure and buying from there. I'm identifying other forms of confluence. We have our trend line here. I was hoping I didn't put it there, so I wanted to see if anybody else would point that out. We have, let me make sure, because I don't have my contacts in, so I'm blind as hell. I'm legally blind. So let me make sure that I'm getting all the connected points, because I always yell at my students to make sure that when they're marking up their chart, all connected points are accurate, because even one little slip up, you know what I mean, could jeopardize your trade. So now that that's accurate, that trend line very much valid. We have our first touch, our base, our secondary, and our trigger. The trigger being the third touch of a trend line and should also dictate a potential entry for a trade. And this could be coming right back down to our level of structure, our fib, and our trend line, adding further confluence to our buy kill zone. Didn't mean to move that, but you guys get the point. And that could give us another potential buy entry. So yeah, Euro JPY, looking for entries around that area. A very simple concept. Let me see. Don't forget that you started somewhere too. Oh, hell yeah, bro. You understand that if it wasn't, I'll be real with you, if it wasn't for trading, I don't know what I'd probably still be in the army. Actually, yeah, I would still be in the army. I say that as a bad thing, but I personally, when I was in the army, I wasn't a super soldier. I was a champion for sure. If anybody knows what a champion is, if you know, you know. But I was definitely one of those soldiers that, like, I loved it. So I would have definitely been doing special forces or rangers. I know that sounds really stupid, but if you know who I am and know what I've done, and you know, like in just general, that would have been something I would have loved. I could have definitely passed. But yeah, trading in essence definitely saved my life. You know, because when I left the military, I had no job, no career, barely passed high school. Technically, I dropped out of high school. I had a family member who worked for the school district, kind of pulled some strings. So in essence, I am a high school dropout. You know, so there wasn't really many options that I would have had. So I definitely know where I came from. You know, I mean, I come from a very nothing, dirt poor background. So that's one of the main reasons why I even go above and beyond and do these sessions, of why I try to impact people's lives in a positive manner, really help and really educate with these sessions, because I know what can happen, and when this is traded in a very profitable manner. Definitely helps in a big way, especially over the years of consistency and profiting and compounding an account. No job, no career would ever be able to pay me as much as I pay myself. So I definitely know where I come from. So yeah, trading. I was making $5 a day at one point. I was like, yo, I'm balling, son. $5 a day. Yo, Maybachs for everybody. That was nothing, obviously. So yeah, trust me, I definitely know where I come from. However, your teaching is much appreciated. Oh yeah, no, I know that these teachings, these sessions, always educate, or they, impact and really help people for the most part. So that's why I do them. You know what I mean? That's why I do them. But yeah, any other questions? Anything else you guys got for me? If not, we'll conclude for today. I want to make sure that I'm answering. I got a bunch of messages from students, so I got to make sure that they're good. Right now, no volatility, no movement on the majority of our U.S. cross pairs. Again, waiting for that news. That news is coming out for FOMC at 2 p.m. Eastern. And even at that, even as it's released, you're not trading immediately. Let the news settle. Allow the market to really find its groove, because you'll get a strong impact. You'll get a strong move from the market or the release of the news. And then after it's released, the market will settle down and go back to its its normal state. So as of right now, if anybody's looking at U.S. cross pairs, be very careful. Don't trade them too heavily. But I mean, if you are looking at them at a technical standpoint, like for the individuals asking about GU for the sells, if you're already selling that does look pretty good. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me see what else you guys got. I have your robot and it's fire. Yeah, the auto trader is doing really good, man. I mean, with anything, with any software, with any platform, there's always going to be ups and downs. But the one thing I will never do is shy away from my failures. I know that the EA has had its fucking ups and downs. When I'm trading, beautiful. When I hired traders to take over so that way I can scale the business, you know what I mean? Goes to shit. I hire programmers to make us an EA, works for a little bit, goes to shit. That's why I took the time out to actually develop the EA. I actually stood up for 3 days straight. I don't know if anybody knows that, but I stood up for like 3 days straight without taking many breaks. Just said maybe eat like once during that time to create the EA that we have now. To make sure that it's much less, or a lot less risky, more profitable. It's not a get rich or die trying type shit. You know what I mean? You're not going to get rich the first day you use it. But it's something that over time, especially with large accounts, it does produce a great amount of profit. So definitely working very well for us right now. I also will be putting the the FX book link in the YouTube. But also, if anybody wants to take a look at our FX book for our auto trader, you can go to our Discord where it says upgrade to VIP, and you can see right here, actually we'll just go to it really quick, and you can see that we have a FX book for our auto trader. So pretty much everything that you guys can see there. Right now we are in a little bit of a loss. I think I placed a personal trade that hit stop loss, but overall very profitable, making sure that we stay above, any and all, if we lose, I want to make sure that we make that loss back as well. So if you guys want to take a look or follow our FX book, it is there for you guys to take advantage of as well. But yeah, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know. Definitely want to make sure that you guys are good and staying profitable and knowledgeable as well. So yeah, if you guys got anything, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. Again, I want to make sure that I'm just, making sure the students are always on point, taking care of them, answering any and all questions that they have. I do believe I have to have message a bunch of you guys, so I definitely got you all if you're on this session listening as well. But yeah, any questions, anything, I can't even talk, anything else you guys got for me, feel free to let me know, and I definitely got you all. But yeah, let me see what you guys got. Nothing so far. All right. So first and foremost, I do want to appreciate every last one of you guys who are on. I know that these sessions have impacted and helped a lot of people over time, so I definitely want to make sure that I stay consistent and help with those individuals who need help. If you do learn, if you do get some insight, you do get education, you appreciate the time that we spend on these calls, feel free, if you can, like the videos. It definitely goes a long way. It helps grow the community. The more people that we have on these sessions, the more questions, the more interactive that people are, especially in the near future, the more time I will spend on the charts with you guys, the more information, more value I'll be dropping for you all as well. I do want to start utilizing our YouTube channel here to present some series, some YouTube series, some cool little value and some tips and trick videos for you guys as well. Reviews on other EAs and reviews on even other signal services that people have presented to me to see if they're even worth indulging in. I do want to drop those for you guys. So the more that we grow, the more that this community grows into an exponential rate, which it kind of already has. I will be making sure that I drop more content, more value, stay on these sessions with you guys a lot longer, make sure that not only do I educate on these sessions, that we also place live trades. I do want to start trading live with you guys, but I want to make sure that we have enough people on so that way we could do so. So if you guys can like the video, that's highly appreciated. But yeah, let me see if you guys got anything else for me so far. Nothing so far. All right. So yeah, with that being said, we'll conclude for today. We'll catch back on first thing tomorrow morning, which is Thursday, so we should have more volatility in the market leading into more trading. But yeah, let me see if there's any. I don't really see too much else. It does seem as if we're gaining some US strength here with our markets. Oh, I did tell you. Oh yeah, that was in the Discord for you guys as well. Kind of almost came to our stop loss, kissed our stop loss almost, but we're right back into profits on USD CHF. So if you guys if you were not a part of the Discord when I put that signal out for you guys yesterday night, you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and place that buy on USD CHF. Very risky, I will say that. One, because we're already in profits, small profits, even though our entry is just a little bit off. And also the news, that shit could just start selling from there, so be very careful. So yeah, with that being said, we'll conclude for today. I'll leave you guys with that. We did place a buy. That was a free signal in the Discord as well. If you guys did not get that, that was put out for you guys yesterday in our Discord. So again, if you're not a part of our Discord, go ahead into the description below, join our Discord. The link is there for you guys to stay updated with any and all events that we have. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing day. If there's any questions you have at any point, feel free to reach out to myself or anybody in our Discord. We'll be more than happy to assist in any way possible. So thank you guys. Have an amazing day. Stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, guys. All right, everybody. Thank you.